In the fields of Africa, there are two friends walking side by side. They are singing and dancing along all the time, having the time of their life. Come on, let's go play with Lassie.
Hello everyone, I'm Marissa and this is Lassie. Lassie, say hi. Good girl. Lassie is a 6-year-old border collie dog. She is very smart. Yeah, we stay on a small farm here in South Africa and it's very cool today. We had wonderful rain last night. Yeah, better than normally. Good girl. So today we're going to do a dance. We're going to do the same dance that we did last time, but this time we're going to teach you how to teach your own dog to play with you in the dance. Yeah. So we're going to do some spins and forward and backward walking and stuff like that. Yes. Come on. Let's start. Yes. Okay. So we already did this move where you go forward. Yeah. So you just need a lot of trust with that. So lure the dog with a treat between your legs, yeah, good girl, and then just click and treat when they're okay. Some dogs find this really scary because you're like dominant and above them. Good girl. So now if you want to go forward, you also just take the treat in your hand and walk forward. Good girl. Good girl. The same goes for backwards. So you just put it in your hand and say terug, back. Good girl. Good girl. Well done. Good girl. Yeah. Let's try again. So take the treat in your hand. Come. Between my legs. Good girl. Forward and back. Good girl. Good girl. Sometimes when she's not between my leg, then it's a bit more difficult for her to go backwards. Usually she just sat down, but yeah, now we already got that far to go like this. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So you want to get into her space so that she just moves back. If your dog goes into a sit position, just take the treat in your hand and do forward and gently just move them back. Good girl. Good girl. And eventually they'll realize that you have to go back. Good girl. So just use the same word. So I use terug. So terug, terug. Mooi. And then you can put in a hand signal if they already know that. So I just shake my hand like this. So kom vorentoe en terug, terug. Good girl. Good job. Good job. So that is the same when it is between your legs. But for Lassie, this is much better if I just hold my hand like this. So kom en terug. Good girl. So she already knows the voice command and then it's easier for her to do it without the hand signal. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. So go ahead. So we would go 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and now we'll turn around. So yeah, you already know that. Good job. So I'm going to take the treat again in my hand. So come. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Good girl. And now just take her out of my legs. Good girl. Good girl. Let's do that again. So take the treat in your hand and just let her move out. So this is pretty fun for her because she doesn't really want to be between my legs. Yeah, good girl. So the next part would be lying down on the ground. So we already know that part, right? Yeah. So you just put your treat in your hand and say down. Good girl. And yeah, that is pretty easy. So that's not too bad. Mooi. So this is another trick that we have to teach, is to sit like this. Good girl. Good girl. For some dogs, you shouldn't teach this because their back isn't strong enough. Yeah. But if your dog usually goes like up, go, yeah, up, good girl, then you know that their back is strong enough for that trick. So how I taught Lassie that is I would put her in a sit position. Then I would take the treat in my hand and just lure her a bit up so she wants to do that. Yeah. So it's just when her feet leaves the ground, then I would click and treat. So, up. Good girl. Good girl. then I would just hold it there for a longer time. Oh, you're falling over. See, she was sitting on her one leg and then she loses balance. Come, sit. Good girl. Good girl. Nice. Let's do it again. So take the treat in your hand and lure it above their head. Good girl. So with some dogs, you can just to put them in a sit and put your hand here so they come up just so they build their strength. Good girl. Good girl. Well done. Yeah, so sit. Sit. Oh. Nice. Nice. Well done. So that is the waving part. So let's just rehearse it from the beginning. Come. Where are you? There you are. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, turn around and touch the ground. Good girl. See, she doesn't really want to put her bum down, so that just adds a cool spin that she wanted to add on it. Good girl. Then it goes, raise your arms. Good girl. And then you have to teach your dog to bark on command. So whoop, whoop. Good girl. How I first taught her, this took a long time because she doesn't run to bark at me. Yeah, you don't. So I would just say woof and give like a hand signal. So woof, woof. Good girl. Good girl. So when you can teach this, like if you know that when a certain thing happens, then she'll bark. So then you can click and treat. So that is very nice with the clicker. So if you know that if she gets really excited, then she's gonna bark. So then you can click and treat. That is not so nice if they just want to bark the whole time after that. So this is a very delicate trick. You have to be very patient with it, and yeah, there could be consequences that they just want to bark the whole time. Good girl. Otherwise they could just I don't know, what other trick could we put there? You could do anything that you like. So give me your one paw. Good girl. Good girl. Or we could do, what do you want to do? A spin? Yeah? So if she doesn't want to do the one trick in the dance, then I could just put another trick in its place. So bark. Woof. Good girl. Good girl. I just use like, I tip my head up, so then you know she has to bark. So Lassie. Good girl. Good girl. And the last part is the high five. So Lassie likes to put her foot on anything. So that was not too hard to teach, but some dogs don't like to put their hand in your hand. So with that trick, I would just like put something in my hand, and see, she would do that. She would want to take it. Mooi, Lassie. So, come on. Mooi. Or if you know that if you do this, she would put her hand on top. Good girl. Good girl. So I would first just put it in my hand like this and know that she would try to scratch to get it out. So, hier zo. Good girl. And then I would just eventually put it in my thumb and open it like this. Good girl. Well done. And then I could just take the treat out of it. So high five. Well done. Well done. Yeah, so that's the end of our dance. So give me a high five. Well done. Good job, Lassie. Good job. Let's do it again. Yeah, come. Peekaboo. Mooi. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, spin, turn around, touch the ground. Mooi. Raise your arms, give a wave, put on a smile. Smile. Woof. Nice. And start the day. Give me a high five. Well done. Well done. So if you have to put everything together for the dance, it takes a while to teach them because it's so sudden. Hey, don't bark at me. It's very sudden to switch from the one trick to the next without giving them a treat. Yeah, that'll take a while to learn. Good job, Lassie. I just remembered that we forgot to teach them the one part. So, up, come, up. Ha, back, up. Good girl, good girl. So with that, she would sometimes get onto my, get onto me, but I just move back. So up, up, kick up, mooi. because her legs aren't so strong yet, so she falls forward. Yeah. Let's try again. Up. Good girl. Well done. One more time. Up. Good girl. So you would just take the treat in your hand and do a quick movement. Up. Mooi. And I use up, so up. Up. Good girl. Yay. Good job. One more time. Come. 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. Spin and touch the ground. Good. Raise your arms and give a wave. Good girl. Smile. Put on a smile and start the day. Well done. Good girl. Great job, everyone. Are you going to do that to some music? Are we going to do that to some music? Okay, come. Peekaboo.
2 steps forward and 2 steps back. Turn around and touch the ground. Raise your arms and give a wave. Put on a smile.
Nice.
Start the day.
Nice. One more time. Are you ready? Okay, come. Peekaboo. Nice.
2 steps forward and 2 steps back. Turn around and touch the ground. Raise your arms and give a wave. Put on a smile.
Nice.
Start the day.
Well done. Good girl, Lassie. Good girl. Good job. Today we are going to meet some other birds. Yeah. So let's go and see. Come.
In the fields of Africa.
This is my cousin Dylan. He breeds and trains different types of beautiful birds. Today we are going to learn about his cockatiels, how they grow and how he trains them. These are the parents, and here you'll see the cute little babies that have just started to hatch. Cockatiels are intelligent, playful birds, with each having their own unique personality. Dylan starts training them at a very young age, feeding them and helping them realize that he won't hurt them. He becomes their safe spot. When feeding, you have to make sure that the food is the right temperature and consistency, so that the birds won't become sick. You have to press the syringe with food at just the right angle, so the chicks don't choke. Afterwards, you gently wipe their beaks and feathers to keep them clean and healthy. Here we are going to see how a bird learns free flight. What that means is that when you call or whistle to the bird, they always come to you. He's such a curious little one. Hello, you. Just like with dogs, Dylan uses food to get the cockatiel's attention. He feeds them and just make them realize that when they're with him, they always get food and they're safe. The bird realizes that the only way that he can get more food is to stay next to Dylan. So if you put the bird a little bit further away from you, he just knows that he has to fly back to get some food. Dylan uses this to his advantage and add a whistle cue to call the bird. And so the cockatiel learns that it is safe to go to Dylan and that it is actually fun. After a while, you can take the food away and just whistle for little Caesar to come. That is just so cool. What a clever bird. With a few food stops along the way and lots of training, he will be able to come whenever he is called. Good girl. That was so much fun, right? So interesting. Very cool. Good girl. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful week and we'll see you next week for more adventures with Lassie. So bye!
In the fields of Africa, there are two friends walking side by side.